Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nikki Vo, and I'm your host. I'm a boat owner, a marinas owner, an international conference presenter, and a huge advocate for boating. I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous, it's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there enjoying the waterways. So, let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. Now, the sound quality on this one is going to be exceptional because we're in the back of a Bentley. Ah! I needed somewhere to record my podcast this morning at Southampton Boat Show, and I've stretched the friendship with all of my wonderful boat brands using their cabins over the last few days. So I thought, I know, who's another really friendly brand that's got a really quiet space? And then I thought, hang on, Bentley. I have never been in something as quiet as the back of a Bentley. So here we are at Southampton Boat Show in the back of a Bentley, recording a podcast with Kate O'Sullivan, founder and managing director of ADPR. How are you, Kate?
I am very well, even better for being in the back of a Bentley recording a podcast.
I know,
it's just brilliant. Yeah, loving it.
Their sound insulation is insane. So even when they're under motion, they're so quiet. So we will get the occasional person opening the door and popping their heads in and maybe saying something. So we'll just bear with that. But because we can't shut off this car from people seeing her because she is absolutely stunning.
She is a beauty.
Yeah, she's a flying spur and she is divine. Yeah. So, Kate O'Sullivan.
Hi.
Tell me about you. Where did your education world start, my darling?
My education world started in Somerset. I grew up in Somerset, had a fairly bog standard education, did pretty well, got to the end of A-levels at the age of 18. Possibly at that point should have gone to university, but I was having too much fun and there was a big wide world to see. At that point, I decided to take a year out and go travelling. That year actually turned into 4 years. And I didn't do as much travelling as I wanted, but I worked as a holiday rep in Greece for a couple of years. And then I ended up in Holland for a couple of years. Then decided, okay, I should probably... maybe it's time to grow up a little bit and do something a bit more serious with life. So at that point, I then went to university as a mature student. I was mature. I was only 22, but that was classed as mature. I wasn't that mature. But I had a good time. I got my degree and that led me into the world of PR and communication.
So what did you do as that degree?
English literature and language.
Okay.
I never knew what I wanted to do, but I knew what I was good at. And I always wanted to be a writer. That was my passion. Writing's always been my passion. Reading, writing. I love books. I love the whole world of communication. But I had no idea that I could actually make a career out of it other than journalism or sitting and writing books. And and then I fell into PR, as lots of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you're in PR. What level do you come straight into ADPR? Is that your first firm?
I did. Yeah, I went into ADPR.
Which was 2000.
Yeah. So you've done your research.
Oh, the advantage of having a PR person on your podcast is that their LinkedIn is actually really good.
Thank you. Yeah. And we're very open books. We like to talk, so there's a lot. Yes, 2005. So 20 years ago. Yeah. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I'd heard about PR and I thought that sounds okay. It kept coming up when you do those questionnaires about what should I do, what should I be. So I wrote to all of the PR firms in Somerset. I was married by this point, so I was quite settled in Somerset. Wrote to all the PR agencies, of which I think there were 2. And Alice Driscoll, who was the owner of ADPR at the time, took a chance on me, responded, gave me a job as a account executive, so right at the very bottom, had no clue what I was doing, and just I've been there ever since. I was challenged. I loved it. I loved working in the marine industry, still do, and I was good at it. I found my groove, and and then eventually we got to the point, I think I'd been there for about 10 years, and Alice started talking about her exit strategy.
Yep.
And then there was another opportunity on the table for me there, and I thought, okay, I can't do that. I can't possibly, I don't know what I'm doing. There's no way. But I didn't really have a plan B, and I just thought, why not? I don't always want to sit there and somebody else come in and purchase the company, and then I sit there going, oh, I would have done it this way, or I don't think you're doing it. I thought, why not? Take a chance.
To be fair, you've been there 12 years by then, right?
Yeah, you'd think I would. No, but I suppose it's very different, that transition from being employed and being a doer, very much working on client accounts, to suddenly being solely responsible for all of those people and all of those clients and learning about the business end of things. Yeah. That was a big learning curve.
Yeah, it's a big jump from employee to employer.
Yeah.
And it's taking a chance. It's believing in yourself. It's jumping in and truly believing in yourself that you can do it, isn't it?
Yes. It's interesting, actually, you say that, because I look back and I think, yes, you're absolutely right. I'm not sure at the time I did believe in myself that much. I think, I don't know. I think I felt like I knew it was what I had to do.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to walk away from the company.
Yeah.
I could see the possibility there. I did know what I was doing to a certain extent. Huge fear of failure obviously came with that as well. I wanted to protect the legacy that Alice had created for 20 years. I didn't want to destroy that. But
you're also responsible for families, effectively, aren't you?
You're paying people's mortgages.
Yes, yeah.
But that was the bit that I felt quite confident about, because I have a natural affinity with people. I'm very empathetic. Yeah. And I used to perceive that as being a bit of a weakness with leadership. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, where it was all about power and control and ruthlessness, and that's not me. But I was always really good at managing my team, and I knew how to get the best out of them, and I did it through kindness and compassion and empathy. So I felt very confident about taking the agency forwards from that point of view, from a leadership point of view. And I still, to this day, remain so passionate about that. The culture at ADPR that we've created is so strong. And sometimes I forget that actually takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but it's there. So that was the bit that I felt really confident about. It was more all the corporate side of it, the business side, the numbers. I'm words, I'm creativity. I'm not cold, hard numbers. I married an accountant, fortunately, so that's brilliant. Been quite helpful. Yeah. He's now the finance director at ADPR, so that's pretty beneficial. But that side of things, it was a learning curve. But I'm in the groove now, and I love it.
This is the thing, though. A business owner can't be good at everything. So you are really good, and I'm the same. I'm an English brain, and my maths is, questionable. Yeah, whereas my husband is completely the opposite. He's Mr. Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we work well as a business team together. But you're obviously in the same sort of situation there, which is brilliant. But I think we do have to have faith that we're going to have people around us that have those skills and use those skills with those people and allow them to grow accordingly.
You're absolutely right. And I think that's something that I've learned along the way. I think I took on the business and I thought, not only do I have to be exactly like Alice, and we're not, I've got huge respect for her. We're very different people, and you can only be you, right? Yes. At the end of the day. I also felt that I had to be an expert in everything. And I felt that everybody was looking at me to be an expert in everything. So you think, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's a really horrible feeling. You feel like the rug's been pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
But exactly that. You soon start going, okay, I'm not good. I don't need to be good at numbers. That's never going to be my thing. Stop trying. Yeah. I know the basics. I get it. I know what's coming in. I know what's going out. I know what I need to know. But I always try now to employ people who are better than me. I don't have all the answers. And I'm really aware, the longer that I've been running the business for, I'm also really aware that your skill set, in terms of, it's a very fast-paced industry, things are changing massively. I'm a bit of a dinosaur now compared to some of the young people who are coming, that we're employing, who are coming up, the younger talent. they know so much that I don't. And I fully embrace that now. Everybody at ADPR has a voice. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Sometimes the best ideas come from the people with the least amount of experience. And I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah. And that is, especially in your business, the movement of the technology, the movement of the social media, the movement of the way marketing is changing is so quick and so constantly changing that you actually need youth on your side, don't
100%,
you?
100%. Everybody always says PR's a young person's game, and to a certain extent, that's quite right. You need those people who've grown up with that tech in their lives from day one, but then you also need people with the very strategic brains and the people who remember the good old days before we even emailed out press releases and you'd put them all in the franking machine. You need all that wisdom and that knowledge. And you team that up with the creativity and the fresh ideas that are coming from the younger people within the company. And it's incredible when all of those things align and come together. It's brilliant.
It's interesting. You actually need a range of people in PR, don't you? Because on the client side, you've got very good brands that need a deep relationship with you. So they like to have a long-term relationship with their PR company so that you can really understand them and market them appropriately. So you're on that side in terms of relationships and clients and being very careful with that. And then you've got these fabulous young people coming in to actually get it out there, which is brilliant.
It's just they leave. They don't always stay forever. And I wholeheartedly encourage that as well, because I know if people are in their early 20s and this is their first job, they're not likely to stay forever. But I always hate it when I get so sad when people leave. But I also think, I hope that what they've learned, I always want people to leave feeling that they've had a really good experience, that they've learned a lot, that they've been inspired by the people around them, and that they'll take that forwards into their careers and hopefully pass it on. Put a little bit of good out there into the world along the way. Yeah. It's my wish.
And they will always remember you as being that part of their career.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. And I do. Even now I keep in touch with quite a lot. I follow people's careers, and even now I'm still in touch with a lot of people that have come through the agency. Yeah. And they will still sometimes contact me and say, "Oh, can I just pick your brains? I'm struggling with something." Don't know that there's many brains to pick anymore, but go for it. But that's nice. It's a real compliment, actually. Yeah.
And of course, you're in Somerset. So at the end of the day, when they get to a certain part of their life and they want to be close to their parents again, or you may actually get some back.
That does happen.
Yes.
That does happen because, of course, people naturally... I think it's changed a little bit since COVID because so many people now can work remotely. They can work for an agency in London but still be based in Somerset. But yeah, you grow up in somewhere like Somerset, which is very beautiful. But by the time you're in your early 20s, most people just want to get away and experience something different. But yet so many people come back. They have their families. They want to establish a better work-life balance, and that's something that we encourage. It's a lifestyle business, really, in many ways. I've got children, lots of the team have got children. We've all got dogs, commitments, and we make it work. We make it work with the business, and I think that's a really good way to keep people now, because I think having that work-life balance is so important for people.
So do you operate 4 days or flexible hours?
Flexible hours, completely flexible. Of course, we're not really in a 9-to-5 business, and you have to be able to be available to your clients. But we can be remote. People can come into the office. If people have got sports day for their children, they don't need to ask permission. They can everybody's a grown up and they can manage their own time. So have respect for your team. Make sure you put it in the calendar. But go and enjoy your children growing up. Make the most of it. Go for a walk. We're all very active, and go out for a run at lunchtime. Please don't sit at your desk all day. And Jenny, my business partner, and I often talk about this. We have to try really hard to role model that as well. So we make a point ourselves of going, it's lunchtime, I'm going for a run, or I'm going to walk my dogs. So it's good.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So Jenny is your partner in this business?
She is. Yes, she is. She has been working for ADPR for about 10 years. And she came in as an account director, so fairly senior. She'd worked over in Singapore, worked for some really large agencies, married to a farmer in Somerset, hence why she ended up back in Somerset with her children. And how long ago? About 3 years ago, I adopted a little girl called Amelia. So I had to take a year out of the business to be doing all of that and looking after a baby. And Jenny stood in as acting MD during that year. And it was a really good time for me to reflect on. I think I'd had the company maybe for 5-6 years at that point. So it was a real time of reflection for me in lots of different ways. And one of the things I realised is that I was a bit lonely.
Yes. Yeah, I get that.
And I didn't want to be doing it on my own. And I also was very aware that Jenny was doing a great job, and I couldn't really just come back into the business and go, oh, thank you very much, you're now an account director again, or associate director, I think she was at the time. So we started having some discussions. She purchased shares of the company, and we've been business partners for 2 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, it is really interesting, isn't it? A lot of businesses work really well as partnerships because you have that person to bounce off ideas without making the employees nervous or anything like that, because you're just bouncing ideas of change or improvement or growth or not. So it is interesting having a partner that to be able to do that with, isn't it? So that's good.
Massively helpful, particularly when there's challenges and it's just that kind of, I'm thinking this, what should we do? And you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family, but nobody really gets it.
No.
Then unless you're fully immersed in that world and with the characters that you're working with, all of that, it's so helpful to have somebody else. You're just not on your own. You've got somebody's got your back the whole time. 2 brains are better than 1. We work very well together, but we're also not afraid to challenge each other if we need to. So it works really well. But I always describe it. I used to feel this. It was just always there, this slight low-level anxiety there all the time of, I'm not really sure I'm making the right decision. Or so just having somebody else there to bounce ideas off, as you say, and that creativity, it's so much better with 2 of you.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah, absolutely. So good. So ADPR, when you joined, were they already in the marine lifestyle space? Was that the clients they already focused?
100% marine. I think that was pretty much 100% marine. They did a couple of travel and tourism. But Alice, who founded the company, was a world champion sailor. So sailing was her passion.
Yes.
Hence how it started. She started out completely by herself, had a couple of clients, and then it just grew really organically over the years. And then we secured our flagship client, Helly Hansen, who we've been working with for over 25 years. And that led us into different areas. So outdoors, active lifestyle, as well as the marine. But the marine was always there. So again, marine was not really my world before ADPR, but it's such a great industry to work in.
It is such a great industry to work in, which is why we do this podcast, to try and encourage more.
Yeah, absolutely. And which is so important, isn't it? Because it's still seen as quite inaccessible and a slightly older industry demographic. So
it is absolutely an older demographic.
It is, yeah.
And it's actually a problem we're looking at in the future, that if we don't get some more young people in, we're going to be in trouble. We actually, for anyone young out there that wants to get into the boating industry, please do.
Yeah, please do. It's who wouldn't want to be at the boat show on a day like today, where there's it's such an exciting industry, and it's quite a small industry, and I think there are incredible opportunities. And we need more young people realising that and coming in and embracing it. And we do need that.
So do you actually go to boat shows? Are you involved in boat shows? How does your world work? Give me a day in the life of.
A day in the life in PR, it really varies. But yes, we are involved with boat shows. So actually we've been doing a lot of the PR for this boat show, Southampton Boat Show, and we travel out. We've been out to Monaco, Cannes, but also some of the more commercial shows like SMM. We go to Metz in Amsterdam. We don't go to all of them. We go to ones where either our clients have a specific need for us to be there, so we could be organising a media event, or we also go from a business development point of view, because it's a great place to network and meet people. And we go because we enjoy it as well. Yeah. There is that element.
Well, it's a perfect place to network anyway, isn't it?
Brilliant places to network. And that's the thing about the marine industry as well. People, and they may move around within companies within marine, but people don't tend to leave the marine industry once they're in it.
Yes.
They're in it. And so you get to build a brilliant network of people who become friends as well, which is great. But in terms of other things that we do, our business is all about creating connections for growth. So we want to see brands grow, we want to see companies grow, whether it's sorting out just general comms campaigns, sending out media relations is still a big chunk of what we do, but obviously there's all the digital PR side of things now. I think probably more so when you're the owner of the business, you tend to get more if there's an issue, if there's a crisis, if there's a challenge, if the team aren't sure what to do with something. That tends to be more what I will work on. Media events, we do loads of media events. Last week, the team were all in London doing a big media event for a client, and then they were here all weekend. And yeah, it's fast paced, but it's really exciting. And yeah, it's brilliant. We had a team meeting yesterday, and you could feel the energy from the team just because they've been here all weekend. And I think getting out and recharging your batteries and being energised by other people and seeing what's going on in the industry.
And being by the water.
Being by the water. Yeah. What's not to love?
With all these beautiful boats everywhere.
And
cars.
Sunshine.
Yeah, and sunshine. Yeah. But it does, I do think boat shows have a fabulous energy.
They do.
And this one actually has got a lot more activity than other boat shows I've been to. And I don't know, it's a really amazing space to spend time in. Mm. And you do see all your friends. I know when I first came into the boating industry sort of 20 years ago, you'd walk through a boat show in about half an hour. That Sydney boat show I'm talking about. I'd go, now it takes me hours and hours.
Because you're stopping all the time.
People keep stopping me and talking to me, which is heaven. I love that. It's wonderful. But yeah, it's such an industry that talks to each other and collaborates with each other. And I think we could always do more of that, collaborating with each other. Mm. But things like the Bentley Princess collaboration, things like that, fantastic, brilliant. So yeah, I think it's a great industry for coming together and really having good fun at boat shows.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I know it's a bit controversial and people have different opinions about it, but I always think as well the link to the outdoors is so relevant to the marine sector as well. And I know in the past they've combined outdoor shows and things with boat shows, which I think has had mixed success. But there's so many crossovers with marine. People don't just sail. If you sail, you tend to be a really active person. So there's lots of other industries and sectors that spin off from marine as well. So collaboration, I think, is going to be really critical for the future.
Absolutely. And I'm surprised not to see more big utes and cars and four-wheel drives and things like that at this boat show, because we need those for towing the boats.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of things that link to our industry. And I think there is more opportunity to diversify the boat shows a bit on that basis. I'm for that personally.
I agree. And I think as well, if you're talking about making boating seem more accessible and getting young people into the industry, you've got to start at that grassroots level with things that people do understand and relate to. And that isn't necessarily going to be a lovely sunseeker.
Yeah, exactly. We all want that.
We all
one
want
day.
That. Yeah.
but yeah, so many boat owners start from a very small boat or a kayak or a sup even. Yeah. And then they just progress to bigger ones because their life changes on the way through. So they've got a different income level and all those sorts of things. And then maybe they get a nice inheritance or whatever happens. Yeah. And suddenly the person that was going to boat shows to see the tender is actually on the Sunseeker. Yeah. So happy days.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. One can never assume what one's future holds.
Exactly. You never know where it's going to lead you. You just got to start with that passion and see where it goes.
Exactly right. So I know you're very passionate about outdoor activities and travel yourself. What do you get into?
At the moment, I'm massively into my running. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm training for a half marathon. I've done a marathon, trained for 2, but the second one I got injured about a week before and couldn't do it. I absolutely love the outdoors. I've got a camper van, couple of spaniels, so a lot of walking, a lot of outdoor activity. We're not too near the sea where we live, but I do love getting out on the water when we can. My dad lives in Cornwall, so grew up surfing, and just for me, I have really learned over the years I need to be active and I need to be outdoors, and not just for my physical health but for my mental health as well. I really notice if I go for a couple of days and I'm like, all I've done is sit at my desk, I'm like, no, I can't do that. I have to get out. Yeah. So that is really my passion, is just walking out of the front door and being active. Oh, and I've got into boxing recently as
Boxing?
Well. Yes.
Okay. How did that come about?
Yes, a boxing gym opened up down the road from me. And a friend was like, you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And I went down. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, I'm so much stronger as a result of doing it, but it is also the biggest stress reliever you can imagine.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
If you've had a hard day, just go and spend half an hour at the gym doing some boxing, come home and you're like, I'm fine now, I'm calm.
That's a very good idea. Next stress management system is go boxing.
Yeah, it works. Try it.
Now, you mentioned something on your LinkedIn about your company, ADPR, and you say you have an ACE method. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, I can. So ACE was ultimately, it's what we do to create the connections. So it's all about audience insights. So again, lots of PR agencies get criticised for just doing the doing without actually delving into getting under the skin of a brand and really understanding everything. So we always say that whatever you do, it has to start with research and data and really knowing what you want to achieve. So it's that audience insights. So once you've got the bigger picture, then you add in the C, which is all about the kind of creating connections. Now, everybody assumes PR is all about media relations. And yes, that's important, but there are so many other stakeholders for most brands. So it's about saying, okay, who do we need to reach and what are the best ways to reach all of these people? So that's the fun bit. That's where the creativity comes in, the campaigns get going. And then, you've got the evaluation, essentially. You've got to be able to back up the success and say, okay, how is this impacting the bottom line of your business? Or, whatever it is that you've set out to achieve, is it working? And if it isn't, what do we need to do? And we go back and we go round and round in this circle of testing and making sure that we're coming up with the right campaigns, evaluating. And it works. And we found that if we created something, PR is quite difficult for people to understand. And quite often it's actually difficult for people to work in PR to really succinctly say, this is what we do. We know what we do, but it's got some reputational issues. And we found that actually if we come up with a process, because everything fits into this process and it just makes it much easier when we're in front of a brand and we say, look, this is how we do it. It's tried, it's tested, it's proven. And I think people find it much easier to get their heads around that. So it works.
Yeah. Interestingly, it's complex, but it's also slightly different for every client as well.
Yeah.
So you're explaining something that has worked for this client, but for that client, you might do something completely different and take a completely different strategy. So that must be challenging to...
No two clients are the same. And it is challenging, but that's also the fun bit because although it has to be very bespoke for each client, for us, when we're living and breathing it, it's just a different variation of the same thing. It's a different idea, a different concept, or we're trying to get to a different outcome. And what I really love as well is because we don't just do marine and we do other things outside of marine, we really learn a lot from other industries as well that we can put towards marine, because marine can be quite traditional.
Yep.
And some of the stuff that we've done much more in the outdoor lifestyle sector, we learn from and we kind of channel into our marine work as well. So it's just really fun. You just learn so much about other businesses, and it just fuels that creativity. It's a really exciting industry to work in for sure.
Yeah, because those people doing those outdoor activities, they potentially love boating as well, don't they? So there's crossovers from one brand to another as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, massively. And you tend to find that people who sail, particularly in the UK, it gets to the winter and they go off skiing or they're riding their bikes and they're into other things as well. And there are other industries that are maybe just a little bit more progressive than the marine has been. And so we like to go and test things on other sectors and then we convince the marine world that it works and it's good.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Now, I know you are a personal performance accredited coach.
Oh, I am, yes.
From the Coaching Academy. So did you do that for yourself, to develop yourself, or did you do it because you wanted to make sure you were developing people within your firm correctly, or was it a bit of both?
A little bit of both. That came about during COVID, and honestly, at the beginning of COVID, it was scary, wasn't it? We were all, okay, what do we do here? This could be the end of my business. I don't know. We didn't know what life looked like. And I suddenly thought, what would I do if ADPR wasn't here anymore, what would I do? What could I do? What am I good at? And I love learning. I love learning new things. And I've always been drawn towards coaching. So I thought, right, now's the time. I've got some time. I'm going to do this. And if all else fails, I've got another string to my bow. I could set up another business. I don't want to be employed again. I could do that. But if everything does go to plan, it's going to make me a better leader. And that's ultimately what's happened. And we use it now. We've done away with annual appraisals. The whole team are coached. It's really good. I love it. I've learned so much from it. And I coach myself all the time.
So good.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we do need to coach ourselves on a regular basis, don't we?
Yeah, massively. If I'm worrying about something, I've now got the tools to be able to go, why are you worrying about it? And can you think of a time when you've done this before and you've been successful? And I can really work my way through something rather than becoming overwhelmed by it now. Yeah, it's been good.
Oh, great. That's so good.
Yeah.
So you're working in the marine active line sectors.
Yeah.
Is there something you find marine does differently to other industry? Do you think there's any way in particular do you think there's some things we could improve in the marine industry in your space?
Bigger budgets. Bit of an obvious one. And I do say that slightly tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. I think we speak to so many companies who could benefit so much from improving their marketing, improving their storytelling, really shouting about things. And quite often they might have a marketing person within the company, but that marketing person is being tasked with, they're having to basically do the job of 20 people, and it's not sustainable. And they want help, but they're actually not fully prepared to invest in what that costs. And that is a reality. And that much more with the marine clients that we work with than with other clients who are prepared to, they've just got bigger budgets and they're more open to it. We find sometimes in the marine industry, there's quite a lot of resistance to marketing. I think there's a lot of small businesses where people have put their heart and soul into it, and they keep a close, tight ring around it, and they're not always open to letting people like us in to pull things apart and show them a different way. So I think actually people really investing properly in their marketing would go a long way to helping to support a lot of marine brands that really have great stories to tell, but they're not doing it as well as they can. So that would be one thing.
Can you give us an example of a client you've worked with, not necessarily marine, a client you've worked with that came to you as a company and they were at a certain stage and then you've taken them to that next level?
Yeah, lots. I'm trying to
You're trying to work out which one, aren't you?
I'm trying to work out which one, and I don't want to
I don't want to
break any sensitivity, but it happens quite a lot. What we're really good at is understanding what a client wants to achieve. There's a lot of companies. I would say a really good example is where a company might want to break into a different sector. So it could be that they're a commercial company and they bought out a leisure product. So they know what they're doing, they know their product's good, but they don't quite understand the nuances of the new market they're trying to get out to. And that's areas where we've been able to really get in there and help and grow a completely new sector for the brand. And it takes time, but it's happened. Growing people's LinkedIn presence as well, we've done that. And actually that's been an area where, for one client in particular, we were working on his personal branding and his LinkedIn page, and the company secured the biggest order they'd ever had directly as a result of his LinkedIn profile attracting the right customer. So sometimes it's the bigger, it's a very strategic, we need to get you visibility in a new market, but sometimes it's as subtle as, actually, if you do your LinkedIn properly, you're going to get those orders coming through. So it's a real variation of things.
Yeah, I did a presentation to a marine conference in New Zealand last year before? Can't remember. Anyway, I did that and I was presenting to them about LinkedIn and podcasts, because it's not a space they necessarily go into in marine. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm not telling them how to suck eggs. So I'll do some research on all these people that are attending this conference and see where they are on LinkedIn and how they're doing. 50% of them weren't even on it.
Really?
Yeah. And then the ones that were, there was photos on their boat, or there was just a sentence about them, or not even a sentence about them, or they'd never done any posts, or And the scope for me to teach them was brilliant.
Yeah, it's like that's a dream, isn't it?
So I am here to tell you something really useful on this stage because you're obviously not doing it, which is great.
Yeah.
Because then you know you're going to be of value to them because you're not telling them something they already know.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed doing that presentation because it really potentially made a difference to them in a big way, because a LinkedIn can be a really simple way of connecting with other people, but also of showcasing yourself in a very professional manner. The other social medias are dancing and being in nice places and all those sorts of things. But LinkedIn is a serious, okay, this is what I do, this is how I got there, this is why, and all those sorts of things. And even the people that I do podcast interviews, CEOs, all sorts of amazing people, they're not on LinkedIn. And it's okay.
Why
That's
not?
weird.
I know, but I think Jenny and I talk about this quite frequently because we're very good at doing LinkedIn for other people. I find that a really easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Pretty bad at doing my own, and I think it's that age-old problem, isn't it? And I don't know, when it comes to doing my own, I'm like, I haven't got anything interesting to say or talk about. So I understand that I don't know, is it fear-based when you get CEOs who aren't doing it, or are they actually afraid of putting themselves out there?
That is the case for a lot of people, right? They don't want to necessarily. I know some really wealthy people that own massive boats are not going to put themselves out there because they don't want to be contacted. If you're in a marine company that it would be nice if a client came along and said, can I have one of those, thanks? Then it would be really good for them to be out there. And you're right. They probably maybe don't think they should personally be out there for their company, but they really should.
They should.
Yeah,
they should. Maybe people are afraid of being a bit vulnerable. And I think that's the thing with LinkedIn as well. And it has changed over the years. It's a bit more real now. It's not just the corporate spiel. It's people are actually saying, this is my challenge right now. Life isn't perfect. And that's what I quite like about LinkedIn, actually, is you get to, it's the personality behind the individuals within a brand, isn't it? And I know that we get, within our company, we get so much more engagement if we're putting something from our personal profiles than when we're putting something up as ADPR. Yeah. Because that's what people care about, is the other people, isn't it?
Yeah. And LinkedIn is all about thought leadership, isn't it? They will promote if you put a thought leadership post in, they'll go gung-ho with it because that's what they want LinkedIn to be. So, it's an interesting space. I really enjoy LinkedIn. I find it a great space, and it's...
I do, but thought leadership is something we struggle a little bit to get clients on board with because we know it's really important and they can see, when you talk them through, they can see the benefits. But I think people are so afraid of putting themselves out there for fear of maybe saying something controversial or maybe saying something that will put people off purchasing from their brand.
Yeah.
But like we always say, if you do it in the right way and if you're being true to yourself and your values and the company values, you might put somebody off, but you'll attract the people you want to attract. You can't ever be all things to all people. So you've got to just get over the hurdle and do it. But I also need to say that to myself more because I need to be better at doing my own thought leadership stuff.
Oh, we always judge ourselves continuously, don't we? Even though your LinkedIn's quite good.
Thank you. Yeah. But it could be better. It could always be better.
But there's a very good point you've made there. We can be vanilla, and as vanilla, we'll be corporate and all those sorts of things. But when we make ourselves a little bit controversial or a little bit interesting or a little bit different. Richard Branson is a perfect example of that, right? He's always done that. He's always gone, I'll go up in a hot air balloon or I'll cross the Atlantic, or attracting attention to himself for his brand being a little bit edgy, a little bit different, a little bit. And his brands they are a little bit different to others. Yeah, so I think
I agree. And it's changed so much, actually. When I think back to my early career, I'm making myself sound really old, aren't I? When I think back to my early career.
She's not, by the way.
It was quite old. It was very much, the advice to clients was, you don't say anything controversial. You don't show your political stance. You don't, just say nothing and stick to the party line. And that's completely different now. Of course, there are ways of saying and doing things, but people know the expectation is that people go to the brands that they trust, and the brands that they trust are based on their values and belief systems. So it's completely done a U-turn in terms of the advice that we would give clients now compared to 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. So the landscape is changing, isn't
Massively.
it? Continuously.
Massively. I know, I can't keep up.
No, I was going to say, you must have to keep up with that really strongly.
Yeah, we do. We do. And actually I spend, fortunately, I love that. I love research and I love learning, but yet you can't, it's so frustrating because you think, yes, I've got the hang of something, and then it's all changed. But again, that's why you need a really good team with lots of different experience, lots of different personalities in there. And we all take responsibility for the things that we really enjoy doing, and we share. It's about knowledge sharing within our team, because there's no way that one person can keep abreast of everything. It's just not possible. Yeah. So we all take responsibility for it and share, and it's good.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So what do you think the future is for ADPR?
The future for ADPR. We want to grow.
Yep.
We want to add more services to what we're already doing. We want to be the best marine PR agency in the UK, and we work internationally as well, and really want to keep developing people's skill sets. We really want to keep growing, offering people fantastic careers in the marine industry, in PR, training people. We just want to keep going, really, and want to keep getting stronger and better and offering more, taking over the world.
Love it. I love it. World domination is what we're heading for.
World domination is what we're heading for, yeah.
I love
Easy.
It. That's good. Then we can enjoy the Bentley, right?
Exactly. I'll meet you back here in 10 years when I've got my own.
Okay, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You.
Really appreciate your
I've
time.
loved it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think we're going to have to talk to Bentley, because this has been the best sound quality podcast I've ever recorded. It's brilliant.
Should we just stay here? Order some food in.
And we've been super comfy the whole way through.
Lovely.
So really enjoyed. Oh, look, there's a little man getting in the front of the Bentley now. I love that when kids get in a Bentley, because then he's going to work really hard at school so he can get his Bentley.
He's thinking, what are you doing in the back?
That's fantastic. No, it's all good. That's brilliant. So we shall see you on the water soon, or maybe in the back of a Bentley. Thank you, Kate, so much for your time.
Thank you.
Bentley Motors, thank you so much for having us in this absolutely stunning Flying Spur at Southampton Boat Show. I shall have to try and do this more often. Because it is the perfect podcast studio. Guys, thanks so much for listening. I hope to see you on the water soon, and I really appreciate your ears. See you soon. Hi everyone, thought I'd just jump in here and say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate you doing so. Please share it with your friends, tell people about it, and give us a review. We'd really appreciate a review. We'd like to know what you'd like to hear about as well. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, Nikki Vo, the Boat Princess, and Instagram at the Boat Princess. If you'd like to get involved in some of our events, then contact us at info@theboatprincess.com, or simply sign up for our newsletter at theboatprincess.com. You take care. We'll see you on the water soon. It's lovely to have you here. We appreciate you. The Boat Princess podcast is hosted by Nikki Vo, produced by the Boat Princess Media, and available anywhere you get your podcast.